Hey, hi everyone. I'm just going over test number 4 review today. So we have our question. We have x squared. Let me change our colors. Okay, so we have x squared. Oh, that's terrible. X squared minus 14x plus 40 is equal to 0. Now the question is, on top I say solve by factoring. You must show the work on how you factor. No work means no credit. So we're solving this x squared minus 14x plus 40 is equal to 0 by factoring. So what numbers make up 40? When we factor, we see this is a level 1, and I specifically made this from a level 1. So what numbers make up 40 here? We have 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 3 doesn't work, 4 times 10, and then 5 times 8, right? These are all my options here. Now, this is all the work that I'm asking you guys to show. You just have to show me all the possibilities. Well, which of these add up to 14? Which of these options add up to 14? And hopefully you can see that 4 times 10 adds up to 14. So we have x, and we chose a number 4 and 14. No, 4 and 10. I'm sorry, 4 and 10. So 4 and 10. And to make this go to 0, they need to be, when we're factoring, they're both going to be negative. Negative times negative is a positive 40. Okay, now we're going to make them both go to 0. You can say x minus 4 is equal to 0. X minus 10 is equal to 0. X equals to plus 4, that's 4, and then plus 10, x is equal to 10. And that's my two answers. Now, in the box here, they even tell you how they want you to write the answers. We're going to write the answers. Our answers are 4 and comma 10. So they want you to put a comma in between. Okay. That's my answer. All right, good job. If you want to try another one, you guys can get a similar question. That will allow you to reload the question and try another one. It doesn't take away the fact that you've already also solved it. Actually, it does. This is going to be 11 and 9, negative 9. Okay, let's try another one. Okay, same thing solved by factoring, just another question like it. Two numbers that multiply to become 22, x squared plus 9x minus 22 equals to 0. We said it's minus, that means we're subtracting. So 1 times 22 or 2 times 11. Hopefully you see that 2 times 11. They subtract that to become 9. X, 2, and 11. We need more positives than negatives. If anyone needs more time on this, let me know. I can spend more time factoring. But remember, this is from about a month ago. But if you haven't learned it, please let me know. We can go over it again. So now we set them both equal to 0. I made a mistake there. Set them both of them equal to 0. X is equal to positive 2 and x equals to negative 11. So I'm going to write here, see if it's going to read my work, 2 comma negative 11. Nope, it didn't read it. Nope, thinks it's an I. 2 and negative 11. Okay, perfect. This is a level 2 question. Now, some of you guys, when you guys have been turning in your work, you guys have been doing this without any work. It's really crazy. And I can tell when someone is faking their work. So the way I write this out is I write down all the possibilities, 1, 8, and 2, and 4. Look at all those possibilities. Oh my gosh. I'm being really sarcastic here. The idea is that it's not gonna take that much work to really try this out. 3 times 3 and 1 times 9, 1 times 8, and 2 times 4. These are the numbers at the end. And which of these subtract out to become 6. Now, I don't know. So I can start multiplying. 1 times 1 is 1. I'll do it actually on the bottom. 1 times 1, never mind, on the top. 1 times 1 is 1. 8 times 9 is 72, right? Those will subtract out to become 6. Flip it. 8 times 1 is 8. 1 times 9 is 9. These guys don't subtract out. 1 times 3 is 8. 3 times 8 is 24. Those are remaining close. 2 times 1 is 2. 4 times 9 is 36. Nope. 4 times 1 is 4. 2 times 9 is 18. Nope. 2 times 3 is 6. And 4 times 3 is 12. Hey, this one does work. So the numbers that we choose were 2 and 4 and 3 and 3. 2 and 4 and 3 and 3. So now here's the hard part. And we talked about this before. When I set up my factoring, we have 2x and 4x. How do I know that? Because these are the numbers that worked in the front. The back numbers have to be 3 and 3. Lucky for us. 3 times 3, there doesn't matter here, the order. But what does matter now is how do you end up with a negative 9? One has to be positive, one has to be negative. So one of each. So which one's going to be which? And we need more positives to win. More positives, so we need a positive here. Why? Because 3 times 4 is 12, and 2 times 3 is 6. But we need more positives, so we need a positive 12. Now we're going to solve these separately. 2x plus 3 is equal to 0, and 4x minus 3 is equal to 0. Now, again, you guys have to show the work. Some of you guys are telling me, like, honestly, I'm getting emails that are telling me that they can do this in their heads. And the answer is, no way, Jose. The person who emailed me is not Jose. But no way. Like, this takes a lot of work. Negative 3 over 2, x is equal to 3 over 4. And, and if you just started trying to do these problems, these would be very hard to do. We've been working on these for over a month now. You can learn it in like 30 minutes. You can learn this in 30 minutes, and the videos are up. Okay, so these are my answers. Let's go ahead and write. That's not what I want to do. I want the flipping one. Yep, here we go. We want to say negative 3 divided by 2. Comma. My other answer is 3 comma 4. 3 divided by 4. Okay. Okay, we got that one right. Okay, another level 3 problem. I see 20 y squared plus 11y minus 4 is equal to 0. We're going to factor this again. So I'm just going to write down all the possibilities in the front. 1, 20, 2, 10, 4 times 5. And those are the possibilities for 20. To get to 4 is 1 times 4 and 2 times 2. Now, which of these are going to subtract out? See how that's a minus sign? Subtract out to become 11. And that's how we look at it. So let's see. I don't know which one's going to work. I'm just going to work backwards. Let's use 4. Let's start with 4 and 5. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 2 is 10. Nope, those will subtract out to become 11. 4 times 1 is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Nope, those will subtract out. 5 times 1 is 5. And 4 times 4 is 16. Hey, 16 and 5, those guys do subtract out to become 11. So we know we use 4 and 5 and 1 and 6. Oh, 1 and 4. 4x and so in this case the letter was y. I used the wrong letter. Y and 5y. Those are in the front. What goes in the back? It's either going to be 1 or 4. Which one is it going to be? Now, if you remember, I drew a little frog face here. 4 times what? We said 4 times 1 or 4 times 4 to get 16. 4 times 4 to get 16, and then 1 has to go on the other one. We need more positives to win, so the choice is either 16 or 5. 16 or 5. Well, 16 has to be positive and 5 has to be negative. 4y minus 1 is equal to 0. 5y plus 4 is equal to 0. Plus 1, 4y is equal to 1. Minus 4, 5y is equal to negative 4. Divide by 4, divide by 5. Y is equal to 1 over 4, and y is equal to negative 4 over 5. Now, if you guys are able to do these problems, you guys are amazing, and you guys have mastered Algebra 1. Like, you guys have learned everything we needed to learn this year, despite the pandemic. So 1 divided by 4. Oops. Darn it, the other answer. Comma. Didn't let me do the comma, that's why. But lucky you guys can go back and re-enter the answer. -4 divided by 5. Okay. There we go. We got both answers. Okay, let's continue. So the next question is actually kind of easy. It's like, what's that perfect C value? And this is a whole IXL problem. So if I have x squared, I'm going to try to get through this. If you want to stick around afterwards, I can read where you got 4 and 5 from. The numbers 4 and 5 are from the number 20. Numbers in the front and numbers in the back. All right, and then after we write down all the possibilities, we start multiplying numbers in the front by numbers in the back. Numbers in the front by numbers in the back, and we try to see, do they add up or subtract to that middle number? That's the game pattern. Okay, you can watch the videos on factoring, and we just go through like a dozen of these types of questions. Literally like a dozen of them. Okay. Okay, so minus 4x. These are actually pretty easy problems. So the question is, what is that perfect C value that we need? And to do this, we're going to go ahead and bubble up. X minus 2 squared. How do we get to 2? We always divide the middle by 2. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Now 2 squared is 4, plus 4 minus 4. So what value do we need? We need a, if this was a 4, we would have been in good shape. So we need this 4. So if it was a 4, we'd be done. So the way we get to that number is we divide by 2 and square. So I need a plus 4 there. I just need 4. Next question is very similar to that, except the next one's going to be a fraction. But let's do this one more time. Let's jump to another question. What do you think that number would be? What's a C value would give me a perfect square? X squared plus 8x. This would have been x plus 4 because we divide by 2. What's the perfect square? 4 times 4 is 16. So I needed a 16 to make this work. So that's going to be 16 for us. Okay, it can be that simple. Next question is a fraction though. It's okay. X squared minus 5x. What's my perfect square? It's x minus 5 over 2. We remember we always just divided by 2. Hopefully you guys remember that, divided by 2. What the perfect square is, we square it. Plus 25 over 4. 5 times 5 and 2 times 2. I'm going to square it. So they want both answers here. They want us to write down my perfect C value, which is 25 divided by 4. And the factor becomes parentheses x minus 5 over 2. And I'm going to square it. Okay, so they wanted both parts of the answer here. If you're not sure, go ahead and try that problem again. Do a similar question. Okay, now we're at the completing the square section. Write in vertex form by completing the square, show our work to receive credit. Okay, so this is a level 1 problem, x squared minus 2x minus 8. Let's go ahead and complete the square. We're going to bubble up. Since it's level 1, we can just go ahead and go into bubbling up. X minus what? X minus 2. X minus, we always divide the middle by 2. That's x minus 1. What's the perfect C value? We say plus 1 minus 1. Because when I square 1, I should see 1, but I don't. I see an 8 there. So we're going to combine our Lax's terms, becoming -9. That becomes -9. Just going to write it parentheses x minus 1, close it, square it, 2. And then we're going to say -9. So it's not that much work, but you can see I'm actually still writing work here. I need to see this work. I don't want to see just the answer. If you write an equal sign someplace here and you start equaling a 0 there, I'm gonna think you're gonna use a solver. So I don't want to see that. That's our answer. Oops. Oh, it's a plus sign. Oops, sorry. It's a plus sign. That was a plus. I miscopied it. Oh, luckily I can go back and edit these, right? Remember, if you make a mistake, you guys can go back and edit it. This is not an equation. Why isn't this an equation? Oh, whoops, I forgot to put y is equal to also. Darn it. Sorry, I wasn't paying attention there. Y is equal. So I'm reading the error message. There you go. Now it's a lot better. All right. Okay. So remember, you can go, I'm giving you guys opportunities to go back and change it, especially when you make small mistakes like I did. Okay, let's do the same similar problem here. X squared minus 10x plus 24. So showing work, y is equal to, we bubble up, x minus 5. Perfect C is plus 25 minus 25. Hey, 25 minus 24 is negative 1. Okay, so I need to see the work. If I don't see the work, it's not like I'm asking for much work, but I do need to see the steps that you are taking. Not asking for much. We said x minus 5. Hopefully that part was right this time. Squared 2, oops, 2, and then we use the arrow to bump it over, minus 1. So if I'm stuck in exponent, I'm going to use the arrow like right here, that arrow to bump myself over. All right. Okay. I'm trying to get through these questions so you guys will have something to work on if you guys get stuck. Okay, now this is a level 3 problem, or a level 2, level 3 problem, however we want to describe it. But the problem is I have an a value in the front. That means we need to get rid of that first, okay? We're going to solve this whole problem using completing the square. So we're going to get rid of the 3 first. X squared plus, we always divide it out by the a value. That's going to be 10x, and we leave it 48. Okay, that's how I do it. Let me clean up the back part a little bit better for you guys. Close the parentheses, plus 48. Now that we're ready to complete the square there, because that's just an x squared problem, we say 3 and then we bubble up. X plus what? 10 divided by 2 is 5. Perfect C is plus 25 minus 25. Now we're going to multiply the 3 out to kick it out. It becomes a negative 75. So remember, that's how we got the negative 75 on the outside. If you look back at our video of this class, again, we did like 12 of these problems, or maybe like 8 of these problems. And we end up subtracting 75. If you don't know what 75 minus negative 75 plus 48 is, use calculator, fine. That's 25, 26, 27, negative 27. Now we can go the fast way or the slow way because we're not done yet. Because they want us to solve for x here. If you take a look, that's x. So we need to get x alone. So we need to get rid of the 26, 27, get rid of the 3, and then get rid of the 2, and then get rid of the 5. There's all these different things we need to get rid of. Unfortunately, the first, the second, the third, and then the fourth. All these things we have to get rid of. So what's opposite of minus 27? Positive 27. What's opposite of times 3? Divide by 3. What's opposite of square? A square root. What's the opposite of plus 5? Is minus 5. And we said we can do this all in one line, and I'm okay with that. Okay, but we have to get to that vertex form. We can divide 27 by 3 is negative 5 plus or minus square root of 9. I need you guys to write these steps. Square root of 9 is negative 5 plus or minus 3. Now you're going to write the two different versions, negative 5 plus 3 and negative 5 minus 3. That's going to give us negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2, and negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8. Now, again, some kids are telling me they can do this all in their head, and I tell them, bullcrap. So I need to see the work. So our answers are negative 2, comma, negative 8. All right, let's go. Okay, same type of problem. We can do it again. 3x squared minus 18x minus 48 equals to 0. Take out the 3 first, that's our rule. Get rid of our a value. Now, if you look at it, I made the 18 become a 6. Why? What's 18 divided by 3? Because I factored out the 3, That becomes a 6. Now we can complete the square. My perfect square here is x minus 3, because 6 divided by 3 is 6 divided by 2 is 3, I'm sorry. And then 3 squared is plus 9 minus 9. We're going to multiply the 3 over to kick out the negative 9, becomes negative 27. We have a bunch of negatives here. That's negative 60, 75. Okay, now we're in this state. If you guys have been practicing this a lot, now we just got to get rid of the 75, get rid of the 3, get rid of the squared, and get rid of 3. All these different things. So it's going to be positive 75. Opposite minus 75 is positive 75. Divided by 3. Take the square root, plus and minus. And opposite of minus 3 is plus 3. We can simplify. Square root of 75 divided by 3 is 3 plus and minus 25. Square root of 25. Square root of 25 is 3 plus and minus 5. Two versions. 3 plus 5 and 3 minus 5. It's 8 and negative 2. So I am kind of rushing through this because I'm trying to get done through all these questions. You guys can have a model of this as I upload the video. Okay. Now again, the test will not be 16 questions long, okay? I'm doing all 16 questions, talking it out within our allotted time. You're working on the following quadratic formula, great. X equals to, sorry, y is, let me write that. Y is equal to x squared plus 2x minus 3. And then the first question is write this in the vertex form. All right. So we can bubble up. Y is equal to x plus 1, because how did I get to 1? Divided by 2. Always divide the middle by 2. Plus 1 minus 1, we're negative 4. Great. We're all ready for that. Parentheses, x plus 1 sorry, move that over. Oops, darn it. And then move this over to the side. Because I need the arrows. Arrow squared, xy squared. And then our answer was minus 9, right? Arrow minus 9. Oh, minus 4, I'm sorry, minus 4. And then the next part of it was, now that we have this, what is the vertex? And hopefully you remember the vertex is these numbers here. It's ax minus h squared plus k, where h is negative. So our h value is going to be negative 1, and our k value is negative 4. So the vertex is just writing those numbers together as a point. Negative 1, negative 4. Negative 1, negative 4. Parentheses, negative 1, comma, negative 4. And this is going to come out. Parentheses, negative 1. Okay. So it's written in there, negative 1, negative 4. Okay. So you complete the square and then you find the vertex that way. Now, this question here is just asking you to write in vertex form. For each of the quadratic expression, write this in vertex form. X squared plus 14x plus 54 and x squared plus 10x plus 22. This is a good time for us to practice us converting to vertex form again. Here we go, bubble up. X plus what? Bubble up, x plus what? What do you think? We always divide the middle term, the 14 and 10, by 2. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 10 divided by 2 is 5. Great. And then we square it. So plus 24, 29 and minus 29, so 49, I'm sorry. And over here, plus 25 and minus 25. I'm showing the work here. You need to show this work. 49 minus negative 49 plus 40, plus 54, that's going to be positive 5. And 22 minus 25 is going to be negative 3. And that's our two answers. Parentheses, x plus 7 squared plus 5. Okay. And then it didn't give me the wrong format, right? It didn't give me a wrong format error. X plus 5 squared minus 3. Okay, that's it. There we go. All right. Now for this one, they want us to use a quadratic formula. All right, so I better see quadratic formula, x squared minus 11x plus 12. And if you read the notes on top, show work. 1, set up the quadratic formula. 2, show the steps to simplify the problem. And then 3, leave the answers here as a simplified fraction. So x equals to negative b plus and minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. All right, so a is 2, b is negative 11, and c is 12. X equals to negative b, which is negative 11, plus the minus square root of negative 11 squared minus 4ac, a and c, all over 2a. So you can do both ways. You can either fill in the blanks, write all the blanks first as you get used to the quadratic formula, and once you get used to it, you can then start filling it in as you sing the song. X equals to negative b, so negative negative is a positive 11, plus and minus square root of, oh man, we said we're going to save some time. I want to do all this stuff right here. 11 times 11 is 121, and 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 12 is 96. We're going to subtract those on the spot. That's going to be 120, so 21 plus 4 is 25. 25, all right. What's the square root of 25? Square root of 25 is 4. No, sorry, it's 5, huh? 11 plus and minus 5 all over 4. We have two versions, 11 plus 5 over 4, and 11 minus 5. Remember, we have two versions because of that plus and minus. We have a good twin and a bad twin. 11 plus 5 is 16. 16 divided by 4 is 4. 11 minus 5 is 6. And 6 divided by 4 is reduced to 3 over 2. So make sure you do reduce those fractions. So my answers are going to be 4. Oops, that's not 4. 4, nope. 4, comma. The other answer is 3 over 2. 3 over 2. All right. Okay, so I need to see all this work for each of these quadratic formula problems. Now, the next couple questions will actually be quadratic formula questions. Except in this one, if you look at the work, it says leave the answer as a square root. So I don't need you to use a calculator to give me the decimal on this problem. X equals to negative b plus and minus square root. So 4z squared plus z minus 10 is equal to 0. And we're going to actually use the same formula. Quadratic formula is the same here, just the variable changes to z. Z is equal to negative b, so a is equal to 4, b is equal to 1, and c is equal to negative 10. See how there's a no number in front of the z here? That's an invisible 1, so we still have to carry the invisible 1. The real test will have probably around 12 questions, so I'll get rid of a lot of these. Not a lot of these, but I'll get rid of enough, so you have plenty of time. But you still have to work quickly because one of the skills, just like for any other test, is doing this in a limited amount of time. Z is equal to negative b plus and minus square root of b squared minus 4 ac all over 2a. Okay. And again, I can do that because I've done these questions like 1,000 times. But of course, you as learning students, you can use my method before, just fill in the blanks. That works. But with practice, you become a lot faster at all this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do the inside part here. 1 squared is 1. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 10 is 160. So plus 160. And then, so we have 1 plus 160. Negative, negative is a positive. That's why it's a positive 160. We end up with the square root of 161 all over 8. Okay, so that's my answer. Negative Oh, they want us to write, and you will write them both separately. So -1 plus, oh, we should write a fraction. I'm sorry, write this as a fraction. -1, let's delete that. So -1 plus the square root, there's a square root symbol there, of 161, all divided by 8. That's my first answer. My second answer is the star fraction again, -1 minus square root of 161 over 8. Okay, so be aware that's how you're going to have to plug in these answers for these questions. You're going to write out the square root and leave them separately. Don't even plug them into your calculator. Woo, that was scary, but that was the right answer, right? And if it was wrong, you could double check it. Remember, you are able to answer, submit the question like at least 2 times. The third one, it'll keep it as your final answer, just in case you mess up on the syntax. Okay. So this one, let me look it up. Now 15 and 16, they're all the same thing. So I'm going to do practice one more time. 15 and 16. 15 and 16, I think they are just practicing the same style where we're just going to leave the answer in the square root. Okay, so let's just do one more. 2z squared plus z minus 2 is equal to 0. A is equal to 2, b is equal to 1, c is equal to -2. Quadratic formula, x equals to -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, which is 2 and -2, all over 2a, which is 2. Okay, so we're going to simplify it. I'm going to do this part inside on top. Sorry, just where I have space. I just don't have space on this. So 1 squared is 1, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16. So we're going to plus 16. We end up with a square root of 17. X is equal to, in this case, I'm sorry, z is equal to -1 plus or minus square root of 17 all over 4. And that's what they want you to write. That's it. So to save you guys some time, I just, instead of writing on your calculator, this is what I want. I want to see this. If you give me the decimal answer, you won't get credit, okay? You will not get credit. So fraction, -1 plus square root of 17, all divided by 4. And then -1, oh, sorry, fraction first, -1 minus square root of 17 divided by 4. Okay, let's cross our fingers. All right. Okay, and the last problem, number 16, is the same type of style question, okay? All right. So that is the test. That is your test number 4, okay? So they're asked to factor and solve, complete the square. One question is complete the square and solve, and then the last one is use quadratic formula in an effective way. So that's really test number 4. Now, does anyone want me to go over any of these style questions right now? Because we have another 5 minutes before the end of class. I can answer any review questions that you may have, or anything that you need me to reteach right now. You can always come back and watch the video later of how to do each of these problems, but does anyone need me to reteach any of these types of questions? Okay, then I would say right now, go ahead and get started on it. If you haven't started on it, you can always email me questions of how to do one of the problems. Feel free if you guys get stuck. If not, you can always refer back to this video. I'll post up the video in about 10 minutes after class is over, okay?